Stay down. Stay down, dog. Got a lot of backfill done. And it rained all day today. Which is good, as we'll get this to settle in. Packing in pretty good. A couple spots settled down. So I'm going to get the top plate, the mud sill, mapped out. Get that on there. I'll be getting some wood tomorrow for the support beams, girders underneath. Soft, some of that stuff. That's what happens when you do a backfill, then it rains, it just really turns soupy, and then it'll settle in and it'll be really packed. A lot of this we walked in by hand, so around the foundation this is pretty good, but like over here for instance, this didn't get drove on with a tractor or nothing, or walked in. Look how much that settled. Goopy mess. And then we got as far as right here last night. This stuff right here is all done. Ready for the gutters. And that's all piped in. Then I'll finish running the pipe out of there, and then all we gotta do is bury this, but certainly wait for a better day. So I'll make a bunch of mud. But this will settle down pretty good. This should grade out pretty well. I'm gonna put two more of these pads right here, over there. So far so good. Starting the floor at the beams and the timbers we need. What? Who am I talking to? Nobody? Well, we got a couple of boards drilled out sitting on here. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more aggressive and get them bolted down so the sun doesn't try to twist them before I get around the other side over there, because I'm only working on it a couple hours, you know, after work. So anyway, pull this stuff back off and put some of this foam down underneath it, which kind of seals, provides a water air type seal between the concrete and the pressure treated. And I got a straight edge, my level. Some of the spots aren't consistent as far as height. For instance, I had to take this whole edge down to make it kind of level with the rest of the house. And then the same thing over here, all this over here. I had to take this grinder, grind that down. That was very humped up. I could even go a little more. See right here where it's rocking back and forth? It's still high. I probably could take that down just a bit more since I'm on a mission here. The rest of it's pretty good, but it's kind of these spots where the where there was a board in the way, transition in the way, the bolt in the way. It's harder to keep it level, but it's easy to grind it down. And then I'm gonna bolt this down solid and make a can't think, straight edge with my string from corner to corner, and then get these boards bolted down nice and straight on that straight edge. And then I'll do that back wall over there and check for square and make sure it's straight, and then just kind of build parallel off these two walls, these two square walls here. There's my wood for girders. I think I already showed that. Boy, rained a lot last night. Water still hasn't soaked in yet. Yeah, that's why I wanted these drains right here. Sometimes it rains that hard. It was just pouring down here. Running down there like a river. Got all the pressure treated on. All the walls squared up. Diagonals checked. It's all pretty good. I set up the laser level. Went around and checked it. That's pretty good. You know, it's all within 1/8 of an inch level. That's pretty good. So I went around and measured out where the girders are going to be. Put a line here, stretch it tight. Loosened up a bit from the rain and the weather. Anyways, each one of these pads gets a post that sits up on top of a shingle, and then it gets attached down to the concrete with some flute nails, and then some hanger nails go into the post. You dog. So I'm going around marking and measuring, getting the size of the post, string the string tight, get a dummy piece of wood here, stand it up, and then just measure from here to here, and that's how tall you make your post. So you cut the posts out, put the girders on top. This was actually up here last night. Rain knocked it down. I'll have to run some 2x4s across there to hold that up while I'm waiting to get the joist. Whew, nice morning, man. It was nasty yesterday. So a little bit of work getting the girders up, and each side of the post, either a 2x4 or 2x6, depending which post you're on. But I gotta wrap these each side with a 2x4, nail that in on every one of these posts once I get the girders up there. So that's what we're going to do today. Hopefully we'll get that all done today. And hopefully we get it done early. Then I get the tractor and do a little more grading around here. Well, today went good. Got all these, what do you call them things? I don't remember what you call them. The beams, got them up. Girders. There we go, girders. Got a board on each side, 4 nails. Got this attached, and this will be nailed down. I'm gonna get a nail gun, nail that down to the concrete, but that's all I want. Call that a positive connection. So yeah, everything is just level, perfect. You can sight all the way down. Every string all the way down to the end. Lines up beautifully. So it should come out pretty good. It's nice and level, nice and flat. It's all square. Gotta figure out a couple things before I order the joists. I gotta move one of the toilets, and I gotta move a couple of the joists over like an inch or so, which is okay. You can move a joist up to 3 inches. Did a bunch of grading out here today. I got this sloped right down into here. Sloped away from the house in all directions. Sloped away from the pump house. Yeah, I'm gonna get a little bit of rock. I'll put it around this end of this pipe. Bury it. That's Lego. Hey Lego. Hey Lego. Come here, Lego. Come here, Lego. Come here. Crap, I almost grabbed that wire. You would have saw me get shocked. I don't like getting shocked. That thing gets you. So yeah, I'm happy with how that turned out. Looking good, looking good. I don't know what happened here. Oh, he's got knocked out in place a little bit when he was hammering. Better. Alrighty. Got some bullets. That round set. two different strengths here, and some 1-inchers, which will knock down all them posts over there. Put a couple on each post. We'll do a little experimenting, see which strength we need. I think we're going to need the number 2 for these 1-inchers. They sunk in like a 1/4-inch nail over here. Bam! Blew it all the way through. And this right here was a 2-inch nail. And it didn't go in all the way. So we're going to see what a 1-inch nail does and what strength we need. Cartridge. We got some wood today. Nine and a half inch joists. These are like 36 footers. These are like 44 footers. I got one extra 24 footer for my braced lateral wall. I'll show you what that is later. And then a couple of shorties here to go in between where this little Z bend is, right here in the middle. I'll show you that. The rim boards, which goes around the edges, all the way around the edge, and then it gets filled up with these I-beams in the middle. And then all this stuff here is blocking, which goes perpendicular to the joist all the way along these girders, full length from end to end. So those will go 16 inches on center, except for 3 different joists. I'm going to move just a little bit. It's okay to move them up to 3 inches. And one of them is set up to be just right on this edge, and that's going to be moved over a bit, kind of split the difference from the rim board to the next closest joist, kind of split that gap. And then the interior has to have a couple of walls that are braced laterally so it doesn't twist diagonally, and that has to be supported down through to the joists. And there's a couple of spots in here where those different walls are, and I'm going to have to move the joist like 2 inches to catch one of the walls. And then on the other joist, actually the wall's going to be right in the middle, and it's too far to move it, so I'll just add a joist in that spot, and that'll satisfy the braced wall blocking code. The next thing is get the rim board chalked out and start get the layout for the joist. 16 inches on center, starting from right here. A couple of 8-penny nails in there per joist, and the rim boards every 6 inches toenailed in from the outside, so it should go pretty quick, pretty easy once we get organized. And then here's all the decking, the subfloor, gold edge, stuff is good for not wanting to swell up on the edges, evidently. It's got some kind of coating on there. And you always get a couple of them that are bunged up, but that's no big deal there. Most of that should be in good shape. Seems like these guys take good care about their wood. Quality of it. And the service and the delivery, real happy with them so far. And then there's some glue. Every piece of that decking gets glued down and then screwed. And then some plastic to go underneath the floor, vapor barrier. So, a lot going on right now at the moment. So there's the 1 inch with the number 2. He had to pound it back in there a bit. So we're going to try the number 4. Strength. Probably, yeah. Well, that one about blew through it. So we better stick with the 2s. Right?
Yes. I love you, Papa.
I love you too. Yeah, that's good right there. That's plenty good. I like that. Getting ready to do the rim board. That's what this outer piece is. Goes all the way around the edge. Got all the joists laid out. 16-inch on center from the outside. That's the plan that was drawn up by the company who made the joist. And I tried to be real careful and measure out where the joists were compared to the plumbing, the toilet, and the drain for the sink. I mean the shower, because you can't really change that stuff too much. And then also the it's not really a load-bearing wall, but there's a shear wall, which for the design you need to carry the strength of that wall down through into the floor. So I had to move a couple of the joists over. I talked to the designer of the trusses. They said you can move it over up to 3 inches. So a couple of these I got moved over 2 inches, and then one of those braced walls was in the middle of the joist, right over here. And so we're going to have one right in the middle. I think another option was to block the joist every 16 inches on center, put one perpendicular. But shoot, it seemed like just as much material to block every 16 inches all the way down, so I figured I might as well just add one. So I got one from there all the way to there, an extra joist. Anyways, got everything lined out, each spot all the way down. And then got lined up the chalk mark where the rim goes all the way around, and we squared up each spot with the 3, 4, 5 triangle. It all came out pretty good. And as we're putting the rim on the very first piece, it's higher than the second piece, and the reason is when I knocked that on, I drove it past the line, and then to get it on the line I beat it back this way. which makes it rise up on the toenailed nail. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and pull those all out, and then nail it back in the way I just learned, which is to set the board down, you know, shoot, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch, and then nail it, and that sets it right where it needs to be, if not short. And then when you drive it in this way with your hammer, what it's going to do is just suck it down tighter to the board instead of pulling it loose like it did over there. I thought I'd show what's going on. I got the blocking caught up. I got the rim on there, following my line. And then I did the layout for the joist on the rim. Did the same layout down here, same layout down here, and same layout down there. And then you're just cutting the blocks, you know, minus the 2.5 inches, that is 16, you know, 16 inches minus the 2.5. And you just make sure that you're lining up on your layout. If it gets a little bit off, you go ahead and trim one of them boards, but I've already got some pre-cut. And then the ones where the joist is off a little bit, of course, have to be different lengths. But so far it's coming out pretty good. So I think I got a system down now where it's pretty easy to put one of these joists up, hit a couple nails, hit it in on the girder, put the block in, walk down there, do the same thing, and then once I get all that lined out, I'll do the rim on the other side, and that'll be quick and easy to walk down that, nail that in. So once I get a good system going, I think that this is going to go pretty quick. And it's looking good, nice and level. You know, when we put the girders up, all those posts had weight bearing on them, so you know everything was level. And we cut the post nice and even, so weight was bearing nice and even, and that transfers through into a nice level weight bearing on those girders for the joists. Yep, gonna get busy today. It's gonna be raining a little bit today. There's yesterday's progress. The rest of this should get whipped up pretty quick. And I gotta cut the blocks and all that. The rim's all ready to put up. It's all going pretty good. Got the long ones left. Right there is what blocking. Cut that up. Put over the girders. Looks pretty good. Get down low. See where it all levels out. So this will be done pretty quick today. Put the plastic underneath it, and then it will be ready for inspection. Ready for inspection. The ground cover down. The access right over there for the crawl space. And everything should be good.